Hello, hello, hello. Here we go. Hey, good morning. We're gonna start here. If you could have your seat, we'll go ahead and I'm gonna launch us today in the blessing with a blessing. And I'm thankful for all the people in the back who've come in today and talked to people. Let's pray. Dear Lord, we're thankful for our chamber and its continued service to our community as we enjoy the holiday season and the closing of 2024. We pray that you will continue to bless Columbia through the Chamber's efforts and those of its partners. Lord, so much of our world is not enjoying peace and goodwill towards all. We pray for peace in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, and Ukraine. We pray for wisdom for world leaders to solve these various crises. Be with those suffering there and across the world. We also pray for those here in the Midlands that live in poverty and struggle for the necessities of life. We lift up our first responders and military wherever they serve. Bless all of them, we pray, this holiday season. We also ask that you bless our time of fellowship this morning and the food that you have provided, as we ask this in your precious and holy name. Amen. Not yet.
Good morning. Keep this rolling. Welcome to today's Chamber Breakfast Briefing focused on talent and workforce development. My name is Caitlin Bruner. I am an executive recruiter at Unum and Colonial Life, and I am the chair of the Chamber's Talent and Workforce Development Committee. The goal for our committee is to help strengthen talent retention and build a more efficient workforce pipeline for Chamber partners in the Midlands. The goal for today's program is to provide an overview of the current workforce, provide insights into the programs in place to connect students and employers, and provide an opportunity for each of you to talk with representatives from various local organizations who work daily to create opportunities for students and employees for businesses. To get us started this morning, I would like to invite David Adams with MUSC for our sponsor message. Oh, hi.
Morning. I am a bit shocked. I thought with the rain outside, I would be talking to 20 people today. So forgive me if I'm a little nervous to begin. But it is wonderful to see you this morning. And it's a wonderful program today. I think that there are a lot of people in this room and with the chamber who've worked with everyone for years and years and years who have seen Columbia as that possible place where you can be born and educated, you can have a job, you can have a career, you can raise a family and be retired in a place that's not rivaled anywhere else in the world. We can make that place, and we've been working towards it, and things have become so much better and better and better because of the work of so many of you. We want to thank you, and we want to be a partner with you at MUSC, and we're growing with the city here. And next year, we're going to begin. MUSC is going to begin delivering babies in the Midlands for the first time. And so we're excited about that. Other new opportunities to be a part of a healthy, happy, and growing community. So thank you for having us here, and thank you for this moment. Have a great day and great week, and happy holidays.
Thank you, David and MUSC, for your continued support of the Columbia Chamber. It is now my pleasure to introduce the moderator for today's panel discussion, Charles Appley, the Senior Advisor for the Coordinating Council for Workforce Development. Charles is going to provide us with some workforce and employment data to frame our discussion, and then he'll introduce our panelists. Welcome.
I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And I want to first and foremost thank all of you. You are the business community that makes this city an amazing place, and a place where you can, like David mentioned, get educated, get a great job, retire, and then get those great services after you've retired because y'all are still here. And it's not an easy job, to run a business, to work at a business, and you do it day in and day out, and we thank you for that. And we're excited about being able to provide some information for you today. I'm going to provide a little bit of an overview of what the Coordinating Council does, and then I get to ask some questions to our amazing panelists here who work every day to make sure that they're helping train those employees that you need and that our city and our community needs as a whole. So there's a lot on the screen you see right here. And I'm not going to go into all the details, which is why the QR codes are up here. But last year, with this enactment of the statewide Education and Workforce Development Act, it reinstituted the Coordinating Council for Workforce Development. And this reinstitution included having 37 members, 14 of which are state agencies. The reason this is important is because it brought together First Steps, which is K-5, all the way through research institutions, and then workforce development agencies from the Department of Employment and Workforce to Commerce to Veterans Affairs, labor licensing and regulation. Now, why is this important to you that a bunch of agencies all got together on a council? Well, as opposed to operating in silos, they're now operating together. They're going, what initiatives do we have jointly that we can combine on? Because at the end of the day, we know none of us have enough resources, none of us have enough personnel to do everything we want to do. So how do we leverage those amazing talent that we have the best way possible? And that's what they are doing. Additionally, with this reinstitution of the council, the act outlines certain responsibilities of the council, including creating a unified state plan for education and workforce, creating a central portal where users from employers to educators to job seekers can find information in one place as opposed to having to search 40 different websites. And then calculating some measures, using the data that's available to make sure that we're providing information on performance, as well as information on what those needs are so educators can continue to train what's in demand by the employers. So I'm not going to talk about all that. Again, those are available with those QR codes. But I did want to mention a little bit about the priority occupations, which is part of our Unified State Plan for Education and Workforce. And you may go, well, why are you going to have priority occupations? Well, if you ask those who are in labor market, there are actually over 800 different occupations in our state. As I mentioned before, and as all of you know, within your businesses, we don't have the resources and personnel to focus on all of them. So how do we narrow that focus going forward? What do we look at to make sure that we're going to use those resources the best way possible? So in working with some PhD economists, what we did was came up with a way to focus that. And this is a formula that we're going to continue to look at every single year. But what it does is it takes those 800 occupations and breaks them out initially into two groups. Because what are those occupations that require just a high school degree? And then which are those that require some type of post-secondary? And that's anything from a certificate to a doctoral degree. So it kind of gives us two different buckets. The next step we did was said, let's look at the supply gap. Let's look at the number of individuals we're graduating out of these programs that could go into the profession and how much demand there is. We also need to figure in how many statistically stay in our state, don't stay in our state. There's about 2 pages of different calculations that are part of the supply gap that our economists could tell you about. But what they determined was those that have a medium to a high, so basically 100 or more, are ones we need to look at. Because if you have a supply gap of 5, 10, you can increase 1 or 2 class sizes, and it's not a big lift there. But if you have a supply gap of 100 or more, there's some structural organizational changes we need to make in our education system to make sure that we are going to be able to meet that demand. Now, on the high school side, unfortunately, that's not possible to do a supply gap because with a high school education, there are a number of different jobs and occupations you can go into. If I'm a finance major, it kind of narrows it a little more, but I got a high school degree, I can go into anything. So we had to come up with one other level, which is what is the South Carolina priority occupation calculation. And this uses current demand, future projected demand, wages, and retention, balancing the needs of the businesses and the families in our state. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details of it because I want to get to our panelists quickly, but you can find those in those QR codes that I had up earlier. So that priority occupation calculation allowed us to use the high school as well. and allowed us as a state to go from 800 plus occupations down to 168. Now, that's still a lot, but it's a lot better than 800. And what this provides is using that data, we can provide our educators, high school level, post-secondary level, training providers, and go, hey, if you are looking to expand a program, if you're looking to create a new program, look to this first. Now, if you have a student demand that's in a different area, go for it. But if you're going, we know we need to grow somewhere, we know we need to increase in some area, look to these first because these are based on the calculations within our state. In addition to this data, a lot of you may be going, well, now with that act, we had to start providing standard occupational classification codes. Why are we having to provide all of that? That information from you will allow us to calculate whether these education and training programs are actually leading to the individuals going into those jobs. Right now, our data personnel can say, hey, we know how many people went to a hospital or went to a manufacturer. But at hospital, David will tell you at MUSC, you have business personnel, you have IT personnel, in addition to your nurses and your doctors. So there's no way for us to really tell whether those education programs, whether that nursing person actually went to nursing, or whether that engineer actually became an engineer or they switched over into something else. So by your businesses providing us that information going, here are our employees, here are the occupations they're working in the future, we're going to be able to use that with the education to determine which of those education programs and training are really providing us the ones that we need. And that'll ultimately ensure that you are continuing to get the employees that you need and the ones that are trained in the areas that you need. Now, we're going to get to what we use with this priority occupations and the standard occupations. I'm the wrong way on the clicker. Sorry about that. We not only determine priority occupations at the state level, but also at the local level. And some of the panelists we have here are doing great work in training some individuals to help with these occupations and others. Examples of some of the ones in the Midlands, you'll see just a couple of those from IT to health science, construction, as well as manufacturing and transportation. Priority occupations actually identified them across all the different career clusters, but these are just a couple of the examples of those that we have up here. And so now I kind of want to turn it over to the panelists who, again, have great programs that are helping train in these areas to provide employees that are much needed. So I want to start with asking each of them to introduce themselves and tell a little bit about their program that they're currently running. And I'll start with Kevin.
My mic wasn't working. Thank you. Hi, my name is Kevin Schumacher. I am the director for Create Opportunity. This nonprofit program was formed 4 years ago to solve two problems. First, companies were finding it very difficult to find IT talent in the Midlands, and then if they did find it, they couldn't get those people to stick around. And second, we have a large population of people in this area who have the aptitude and the work ethic to succeed in this field, but did not have the means to go through a 4-year education. So we created a 7-month intensive software development course to enable people to bridge from where they are into software development and partner with local employers who are looking for that talent and people who want to learn and want to stick around. Oh, there you go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Cunningham, and I'm with Connections Workforce Development Group. We are a local grassroots nonprofit. I have two partners, Mr. Robert Day and Ms. Christy Savage. We work in the space of skilled trades. And what we do, we canvas areas such as 29203 and 29204, which are very underserved within Columbia. And we offer skills trades such as electrical training. We're working on HVAC, and we do rod busting, which is rebar, if any of you have heard of that. Since construction is really big right now, we found that a lot of the companies, they don't have the employees to complete a lot of the jobs that are here now and coming up. So we look to work with the underserved community and get them trained. Our electrical program is 4 months. So from 0 to 4 months, these folks are able to come in, get training, and get placed in jobs that not only allow them to provide for their family, but also build their community financially. And our rod busting program is 6 weeks, and we also place those students as well.
Oh, your mic is working. Good morning, everyone. I'm Monique McDaniels. I'm the Vice President of Community and Workforce Development for Goodwill Industries of the Upstate and the Midlands. Goodwill Industries has been around for 51 years in the state of South Carolina. We cover 16 counties, starting in Kershaw, making our way all the way up to Anderson, Oconee, Pickens. At the top of the Georgia line, we go all the way over to Lexington. So we cover everything in the Midlands. So all of you, we serve. We are an organization. Obviously, a lot of you donate to us, so thank you, and shop in our retail stores. Everything that you donate and purchase in our retail stores, 93 cents of every dollar goes back into workforce development. So we train about 10,000 people a year, and we put about 6,700 people back to work each year. And that is in various fields. And so we have a model of saying any age, any skill, any field. And so we help people that have extreme barriers to employment, some that may have moderate barriers to employment. We help anyone that comes through our doors. And so we have a lot of services. We have a lot of fields. We just launched a new tech academy. We are about to launch a clean tech accelerator in July, which is getting people into renewable energy jobs. The first training program is going to be heat pump. The next is going to be EV technicians. And so these services are free, again, because individuals donate and shop in our retail stores. So there are no costs for individuals to come and train with us. And so we are open and ready to work with employers to get folks into your jobs. How can we upskill them? If you have a workforce that needs upskilling, if you're looking for new talent, how can we help you do that? Today, we're having a job fair at our Resource Opportunity Center right off Hartscrabble Road. So if you're looking for people, you can go meet them over there from 10 to 2. And so we're constantly trying to get people into livable wage employment. And so we're excited about the opportunity to partner with all of you.
Thank you all so much. And Monique, that's actually a great lead into one of my first questions, which is I'm going to ask all of you to kind of talk about how your program places those graduates. So how do you connect those that you're training with potential employers? And we'll start with you and kind of go back.
So what we typically do is that we have a team of individuals that are out making connections with employers. We come to events like this. And so we're always looking to connect with employers and look at what type of jobs they're looking for, what skill levels they need. If they need someone that has no experience, if they need moderate or extreme experience, we want to make sure we're looking and placing individuals that's going to be quality workforce for you. We're also looking at always how can we design a training program that's going to be applicable to what you need. We do career and work readiness, soft skills. I know a lot of you are struggling like us as well. Not everybody's ready to go to work, although they say they are. And so we want to work with employers. We also do onboarding. So we also help employers in that way. So we will have the job fair for you. We will recruit. We will vet applications. We will help you with the onboarding so that we can be supports to our employer partners. And so that information is all on our website. But again, we have a team that's going out knocking doors locally that's always trying to connect with employers. And we have a large job fair about 4 times a year. So about once a quarter, we're looking at having multi-employer job fairs. We had one back in October. And because we had such a waiting list for employers, we ended up having another one. Now we had 170 people show up to be placed into work. And so we had about 25 employers that were there in our unit. So we're always excited about that opportunity.
Jeffrey.
Okay, like Monique said, we are actually doing some work with Goodwill. So we are one of those partners that go out to events such as this, and we engage directly with employers to find out what they need. We invite them over to come when we have training to meet with our students, talk to them, and hopefully hire some of our students. We work with local churches. We work with other nonprofit organizations within the community that understands the needs of our students to help us get folks into the program and get them trained up and hired.
I have to follow all of that. So Create Opportunity is relatively small because we are a niche program. We will graduate about 12 people each year. We develop very strong relationships with employers to find out exactly what they're looking for. We consider our 7-month course basically one long interview with our students. We get to know them. So when we come to an employer, we have their story and we find the best fit within that organization. And that's how we place everybody. We have a 97% placement rate. And at the end of 4 years, 82% are still with their first employer. So it's a really good program.
In terms of these individuals that y'all are training, where do they typically come from, and are there any application requirements?
For Create Opportunity, we will have, last program, we had 800 people that found us either through Midlands Tech, they found us through Facebook. We had some posts that went viral, and they'll find out about the program, and then they have to go to the website and take an aptitude test. And from there, the screening process is, is that what we're asking? Am I going the right direction? About half the people will pass the screening test. Then everyone gets a one-on-one interview, and then we do a 4-week pre-course before anyone can even enter the program. We accept about 20% of applicants. So it's a very thorough process that we're working on. And we're trying to attract a more diverse population who do not see a four-year degree or a second 4-year degree. 25% of our students have 4-year degrees. That they don't see a pathway to get back in that, but they still want to get an IT. And that's what we're trying to open the door for.
Okay, so we actually at Connections, like I said before, we are a very grassroots organization. So we go out into the communities. Our focus zip codes are 29203 and 29204. Now, those are not the only zip codes that we service, but those are our targeted zip codes. So we go out into the communities and we actually invite folks to come to the classes. Now, as far as the application process, all you have to do is have the ability to want to do better and be willing to stay the course. We understand that some of our folks that come into our program, they do not have the capacity to attend something like a Midlands Tech or other organizations. So we make it very streamlined. It's a very simple application that pretty much just consists of your name, your address, and your educational status. We do take students who do not have high school diplomas. So we try to, like I say, serve the underserved community. So our application process is very simple. All you need to have is the desire to want to learn.
Okay, so I think I fall in the middle. It's
There you go.
maybe not that extreme, but maybe not. So I think I fall in the middle. But we do have we do have a assessment process. So if someone is coming into us, and a lot of times we're getting referrals from either our community partners that we partner with already. A lot of folks will walk into any of our 23 job connections that cover across our 16 county territory. People engage with us online. We have a new virtual platform for folks to engage with us 24 hours a day. Not that we're there 24 hours, but they can connect with all the resources on our website. And so when someone is engaging with us, we're doing a career and financial plan with them. And so we're developing a plan to look at their goals. We're also now doing assessments. Just like Jennifer, we don't require any educational, but if you're looking for a certain type of job, we want to talk to you and be realistic about that. If you don't have a high school diploma, let's get you a GED. If you need a certification, let's get you that certification. So we're going to walk you through the steps. We're going to create that goal and plan for you. We're looking at individuals. Our first goal is to say, let's get you stabilized. If you need employment right now to provide for your family, we'll get you stabilized, we'll get you connected to an employer, and then let's move you up to that B job. So that's a job, we're moving you up to a B job. So what's that better job for you, whether that's requiring us to partner with one of our technical schools or one of our private training providers, such as Connections, who we're working with, and we're getting you trained, and so we can now move you up to what that next career level is for you. So our ABC model, we have that trademark, I just want to let y'all know. So our ABC job model, and so that's how the path we follow, right? A job, a better job, and a career. So we're doing assessments with them, and we're doing that because someone will come in and say, I want to be a medical tech. And they may be like me, who is a germaphobe, right? And so I can't work in the medical field, but they heard that makes a lot of money. And so we want to be realistic. We have people come in and say, I want to be a welder. Well, if you can't work in heat and you can't stand on your feet for 12 hours, that's probably not the job for you. And so we try to create realistic expectations, and we want to be fair to our employer partners, right? So we don't want to send you a candidate because they came in and asked us for a job and now we want to place them there. So we do a little bit more groundwork in trying to make sure that they're ready and stabilized for employment. Sometimes that doesn't always work out because, again, if someone just needs to provide for their family right now, we want to fix that need and then we'll circle back on that. So sometimes a little bit of hit and miss, but we got about we have an 89% placement rate. And so we're always excited about how we can make that better. And we want to partner with our employers community so you can tell us where we may be missing and where there's a gap and how we can help fill that.
And Monique, you would think you and I have scripted this the way that you end your answers with my next question. This will be the last. And this will be the last question that I have for y'all. But I want to make sure employers we have here out in the audience, if they wanted to engage with your organization to build a training program to hire people, how would they engage with you?
So for us, if you're here today, we have a wonderful team back there in the back. If you want to connect with them, we also have an information form on our website that you can fill out. You can give me a call or shoot me an email. Anybody that's engaged with me know I'm really responsive, especially if you're asking us for a partnership or assistance. And so they can walk into any of our locations and connect with our career specialist that's there and tell us about your needs. We'll also do an individual job fair for you. So it doesn't have to be a multi-employer. We do job fairs weekly. We have about 5-7 a week with employers that will come in and set up in our organization, or we'll come to you. We have a mobile unit that's just like any of our brick and mortar locations. We'll park out there. We've gone to Prisma Health and Walmart Distribution and Dollar General, and so we'll park and we'll help you as well on site if you need us to. But our website is always probably the best place, or you can connect with any of the Goodwill associates that are here today.
Well, for Connections Workforce Development Group, we have a table set up back there. So if any employers are here, would like to speak with us after this, you can come back and to the table, speak with us, or you could call us directly. We're located downtown on Laurel Street. You're welcome to stop in, or if you're having a job fair, we love to come out and set our table up and meet other people within the community. So that's how you would connect with us.
If you would like to bring someone on board for IT at a junior level software, as a junior level software developer, you reach out to Create Opportunity. It's createop.com. Contact us through the website. You can stop by. We're in the United Way building at 1818 Blanding, or you can see me or Violet, who's at our table today, and just talk to us today. We can set up a meeting, tell you more about the program, see if it's a good fit. It isn't a perfect fit for everyone, but for most people we talk to, they see the value in it and they see how reinvesting in the community and hiring people who want to live here and live here a long time and contribute to your company in that field. If you're looking for that, we can help you.
Well, we really appreciate everything y'all are doing. We appreciate the Columbia Chamber for setting this up so there's an opportunity for our employers to get to know some of the training providers that we have to help fill any of those open positions that you may have. So big thanks to the Columbia Chamber for doing this. Or do we have time for audience questions? So is there anyone in the audience who may have a question for any of our training providers? Here we go.
It's a range from about 48,000 to 65,000.
That's a great question about that salary range. Any other questions? Yeah, here we go.
I think our South Carolina director of director of corrections has been trying to do a lot of work with communities with formerly incarcerated folks getting back into the workforce. Do y'all work with any former incarcerated individuals who are trying to change their lives, get back into supporting themselves and families? Is there an avenue for working in that direction?
Thank you for that question. Yes, at Connections, we do work with second chancellors. We sit down and we have that conversation with them to see how we're able to help empower them moving forward. That may include helping them with expungements. So we have to look at that on a case-by-case basis. But yes, we do work with second chancellors.
We do as well. We have specialty population programs. Goodwill is actually in every state prison for SCDC. So we have a team that goes in and works with individuals 90 to 120 days of release. So we start to prepare them for workforce training. When they get out, they have a career coach, and we continue to work with them. I'm very, very proud of that team. We actually have only had one person recidivate in 24 months. So we have a low recidivism rate in the state and the country. I'm so extremely proud of that team. So yes, we work with a lot of second chance participants and employers. And I'll just say this as a little bit of a plug. If you say you're a second chance employer, really be a second chance employer, because we will have second chance employers say we are, and then you got 10 things you won't accept. So I just ask you to go back and look at your policies and be realistic, because we run into that all the time. We'll have we second chance, probably not. So I just say go back and just evaluate really second chance employer or not.
We just began talking with a couple of organizations on this process, and we are open to a second chance opportunity. It depends on employers, depends on a lot of other things that are beyond our control since it's such a small group. But we are trying to create that path for that group as well.
And additionally, for any of those employers who are like, man, we really need some people, thought about second chance, but we're not sure. The Department of Employment and Workforce actually has an insurance program. So that individual, if you're like, we think we trust them, but we're not really sure, 6 months insurance program, anything happens, you're covered on it. So it really gives you that opportunity, because as they said, second chance individuals coming back are incredible hard workers. But we also understand there may be some hesitation. And so that's available as well for that first 6 months to take that chance and realize what a great impact those individuals can make in your business.
Look into their work in a field like I work in strategy, design thinking, innovation, which there are very few people who are from different backgrounds who are leading in that field. So it's a place that you need a lot of people to move into. But as I've looked at a lot of the registered programs out there, many of them are either the trades or like hard tech STEM focused. Have you all seen any trends of, what you I guess consider like the creative class careers and apprenticeship programs that are moving people into the I can't remember. Or the workforce development.
So I would say no. And the reason for that is because South Carolina has essentially set ourselves up to be a huge manufacturing state. And so a lot of the focus is around manufacturing in STEM, right? So we're looking at manufacturing, we're looking at all of the technology that goes with that. We've also now become an EV hub in the Southeast. And so that's where all of the focus has been. So you don't get a lot of people in the administrative creative space. And I'm glad you brought that up, because you're probably the second person in 2 weeks who has asked us about, are we looking at more professional level, administrative level jobs? We typically go by what the labor market is doing. So we do a lot of labor market research to determine what programs we're going to either launch, or we're going to sunset, or where we're going to start to push or attract people towards. And so we're meeting the needs of what we feel like the state needs, but that doesn't mean that's everybody. So it's a little bit of an anomaly where there is some balance that probably needs to take place, especially when we're talking to younger generations. We have been asked to come in and now help some school districts with students that may not be career or college ready. They're just trying to figure it out. And so how do we push them in those spaces? And a lot of times we're pushing them towards what the state is saying that their need, and that is not an administrative and creative space. So there probably needs to be some balance, and probably needs to be a little bit more a vocalization for folks that work in that space to call that out, to say, hey, we also need folks that are training in this space as well.
And I was just going to jump in on that one really quickly, because we do have Kirsten Pratt in the back from Apprenticeship Carolina. And what I have learned from working with Kirsten is the apprenticeship programs, it's really limitless. It is only limited by what you as an employer are looking for, and that those apprenticeships are driven by employers. So if you have an interest in creating an apprenticeship for whatever your field is, I mean, talk to Kirsten. There's a lot of creativity and a lot of opportunities there. Yes.
Yeah, man. I was going to add on to that too, as far as like as employers signing up for internships, I guess the apprenticeships, that kind of thing. Would it be on each of your websites, or how to put your business up for possible apprenticeship?
For us, we're going to work with you as an employer partner. I'm going to come to you directly and we're going to have a conversation and find out if it's the right fit. It's very personalized, customized. It's a little different as opposed to just putting your name up on the website or going through all of our students. We really customize it. Russ.
I was just thinking, because I didn't know it existed, 20 years ago, and now it's something that I do. So just helping to expose people to it. We did Young Men United, United Way, and other projects like that. Also, too, we want to keep the talent here, and we're losing a lot. So, I get greedy and work with someone for a long time. We want to keep them working out. So, anyway, thank you.
And I will just say again, you all are just, the segues are amazing. This is wonderful. So good morning. My name is Laura McKinney, and the talent and workforce development is my thing. And I work at the Columbia Chamber. And I would like to thank Charles and all of our panelists for being here today. And our primary focus here really is on growing and retaining that talent. As you said, we have great young people. We have amazing people who are coming to our community who want to be here. So we want to keep them and make sure that we welcome them and we make these opportunities available as easily as we can, easily accessible. So again, thank you all for being here. We also are part of our Forward Together program, our fundraising program supports this workforce and talent efforts. And we have several programs focused on various ages and stages of employment that were implemented and that we will continue developing for 2025, including a program called Campus Leaders and another one called Launch Columbia that's focused on high school students. We have a talent and workforce committee, and you met Caitlin earlier, and they're helping to develop these programs and help guide that development. And if any of our committee members are here, if you wouldn't mind standing, please, I would like to thank you publicly. Come, Harrison, Caitlin, and Cole, I saw you. Yep, and Latoya with Lauren. Yep, thank you. And again, thank you to our panelists. And also when you came in this morning, I believe you saw that we have some vendors around the room here. These are folks that are working in the community to provide education and training. They're here to serve our employers. And so we wanted to make some really direct connections for you between what they can offer and what you need. So please speak with them, continue to mix and mingle. We appreciate your support and we look forward to a very prosperous, productive, and healthy new year. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and best wishes for the holidays. Thank you for all your support. And I'm now going to turn the rest of the program over. Yes.
One comment before because I'm going to piggyback on what he was just saying. There are a lot of jobs out there in every field we're talking about right now that say we need 2 to 3 years experience. If you're hiring someone with 2 to 3 years experience, they left someone else after 2 years. If you're looking to create and retain talent in the area, you have to start from ground level. You have to be the one who puts together a management level that can train entry-level talent. I'm going to bring up Harrison Spear over here. Diesel Laptops is doing that right now. They're building a management level so they can bring in entry-level talent, train them properly, and make them part of the organization for a long-term employment cycle.
Thank you. That was a very good point to end on because I'd like for you all to speak to each other as well and learn from each other too. But I'm going to introduce Hillary Bell, who's going to help us wrap up our program today.
Thank you all so much for being here. It's been a wonderful morning. Thank you. I hope you guys have made some good connections and you've met some new people and learned some new tidbits of information to take back with you to your places of employment. I'm just going to wrap up with a few quick announcements and give you some chamber updates, and then we will let you continue to walk around and meet with our vendors and head on about your day. So without further ado, I would like to, at our breakfast briefing, we introduce our partner perks. So as a perk of being one
of our chamber partners, we have different programs and initiatives and things that we would love for you guys to take advantage of. One of these is FSI Office. We have a short video we're going to watch here, and then I'm going to invite Janet to come up and speak and give you some more information so we can.
Hey there, Columbia Chamber members. Welcome to the Columbia branch of FSI Office. You may know us better as Forms and Supply Incorporated. We've been here for a long time. Larry, tell them how long.
Well, I've been with the company for 48 years. We started the branch back in November 1976, and we actually were the first branch in South Carolina.
And we're headquartered in Charlotte. Today, we have branches all across the Carolinas. But we're so successful here in Columbia in large part because of these two guys. Dan, tell them what your first job here was and when.
I started in January of 77 as a truck driver.
A truck driver. Today, he is our #1 sales rep across the company. Our newest member of the sales team here in Columbia is Aaron Lee. Aaron is the one you're going to be interacting with more as he's very involved at the chamber. We're so excited to tell you what we bring to the table for you as a chamber member. You're going to experience much deeper discounting than most people out on the street. We look forward to showing you what we can do for you. Welcome to FSI Office. All right, thank you. We'll clap for that. Good morning. Happy holidays, everybody. We are just happy to be here. Thank you for taking on that little video. Don't get up and leave yet. There is a door prize coming in a minute. So if you don't know FSI Office, I want you to get to know us. You saw Aaron Lee a little bit in the video, and he's here with me today. Many of you stopped at our table on the way in. If you didn't, please stop on your way out. We got a little goodie for you. There is a door prize opportunity. Last year at this meeting, it was Christmas season. I had a trivia question, and the first person to raise their hand won my door prize. I have a different trivia question if you even remembered what it was a year ago. So you're going to help me see who the first hand goes up. Answer has to be very specific. A Christmas Story. In that movie, what toy does Ralphie desperately want? Oh, that's it. Red Ryder BB gun. Stop by my desk on the way out. Y'all, thank you so much. I hope you'll consider FSI Office for those things that you use every day. We don't do anything really special. You guys are doing big things. And I feel so small because we do pens and pencils and Post-it notes. But congratulations on the work you're doing. I really enjoyed the program. Thanks for having us.
It is not small. You cannot do the work that we do without pens and paper and pencils. So we appreciate you as well. Just a couple quick other things. I want to give a shout out. This is our last breakfast briefing of 2024. It has been a fabulous year. We appreciate all of you coming out each month to just hear from these speakers and to network with us. But we cannot do what we do without Segra, without the Fireflies. Thank you guys for hosting us, for being such wonderful hosts, and for decorating for this morning. It's beautiful. We also want to thank Sound and Images. We cannot do what we do without AV and technical and sound and video. And so they make us look really good, and they work really hard behind the scenes. So if you need any assistance with AV or anything, please stop over at this table and chat with these guys over here. Thank you to all of our other sponsors as well, MUSC, Blue Cross Blue Shield, all of our patron sponsors and influencer sponsors. We can't do what we do without your support. So thank you. We look forward to another great year in 2025. So another opportunity that we have is our Diplomat of the Quarter. So for those of you that don't know, our diplomats are extensions of chamber staff. They are volunteers who work in the community. They believe in what we do at the chamber. They believe in the work that you guys do in the community. And so they help us get our mission and get our story out there. So we have a person that we get to celebrate today. I'm going to bring up Emma Fairchild. She is our Q1 Diplomat of the Quarter. Emma has gone above and beyond. She's one of our newer diplomats. She is at everything that she can possibly be at. If you haven't met her yet, you will meet her very soon. She volunteers. She works behind the scenes. She sets up. She tears down. She welcomes people, and she smiles while she does it. So we just want to recognize you and say thank you so much for everything you've done for us. I'm going to give you this, and you can head over and look. If anybody would like more information about our diplomat program, we are currently accepting new diplomats. You can speak to Amy over here. We would love to get you plugged into that program and get you some more information. A few other things. We have some new partners in the room. I'm looking around. I know we saw Testing Lab Solutions. They're one of our newest, brand new partners. And Villatronco, I saw Trip around here too. So if you see either of them, please give them a chamber welcome them to the chamber, and introduce yourself. And then few other things we have coming up. So since it is the holidays, this is our last event of the year for 2024, but we do have a few other programs and initiatives that we have coming up. So if you did not grab one on your way in, we have a Shop Small, Celebrate Big passport. This is for celebrating our small businesses. It's an opportunity to win some door prizes, win some stuff, and spend some money with small businesses around town. So there's a QR code on there. Please stop by the back, grab one. You can see what businesses are participating. You go in, you spend a little bit of money with them, they sign off, and then you bring it back to us and you get entered to win a door prize. The dates for that is January 17th. So you've got all the way through the holidays to be able to participate in that. And one more thing that we are introducing for 2025 that we are really excited about that I think very closely ties into what we talked about today is our Educator Excellence Program. So we are starting something in conjunction with Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union to celebrate our teachers and the teachers and those administrators on the front lines who are building up and training and teaching our future workforce so that we can get them employed and we can get them into the community. So this is an opportunity to nominate a teacher of the quarter. We are partnering with Richland 1 and Richland 2 school districts. If you have a teacher, if you know a teacher, if you are a teacher, your students have a teacher, please go online to our website. We have a QR code here as well to nominate them. We will be recognizing those teachers quarterly, and they do get a pretty good prize package to go along with that, just to thank them for everything that they're doing. So that's all I have for you today, as it's literally raining. So hopefully everybody will stay and hang out for a little bit until the rain passes. We will see you all back here January 8th for our next breakfast briefing. Have a wonderful day.